One of Wizard101's most recent updates is honestly, in my opinion, an extreme mixed bag, and I'm talking about the bank. The bank in Wizard101 is probably one of its most archaic features. It like literally dates back to the early days of the game, so the fact that they updated it obviously should be a W, right? That's what I was thinking too, and then I made the mistake of pressing X on it and seeing this. Today, I wanted to talk about where somewhat of a good idea can go very, very bad. Now, I'm not going to completely dookie on this. You know, there's obviously positives to what they updated, so I'm not going to let you know, do all that. But I wanted to do an honest review of the bank overhaul after they fixed some of the glitches with it. And honestly, there are still things that I think are lacking. Let's talk about what they added, right? They added a lot of really cool things. You can actually look for items now. Let's say that I want, like, I don't know, my Delia's hat to incendiate people. I can literally search Delia, go to my backpack, it's there, like where it is. So they added like a search feature. So, you know, if you have gigantic inventories and you don't know where an item is, honestly, it won't take that long to find it. It's very hard to miss when you're using something like this. There's also other filters like, you know, if it's usable, if it's like your school, the level range. These are all really, really cool. This is not my issue with this at all. And before I get to the negatives, clearly the biggest W of the bank UI update is the fact that spell elements are able to be moved now instead of like as reagents, but as spell elements, as in like there's a tab for each spell element. It's literally, you know, like organized by school. This is an amazing feature because honestly, sometimes it's very easy to lose track of your spell elements. These are all really, really good things. What I hate, and this is just maybe a pet peeve, but it's taken over the whole update for me. The color scheme is so awful that honestly, I'm in pain when I look at this thing. I don't care what anyone has to say about this. I know someone's gonna be like, Sauce, you're making a big deal out of a color scheme. But like, they have a functioning color scheme when it comes to the inventory already that they've been using both for the inventory and the bank. It's the iconic yellow on dark red, right? We've been used to this for a really long time. The names pop out. It's really hard to misread stuff. It's very easy on the eyes. It's easy to look at. This, on the other hand, is not a good color scheme. Bright yellow on light blue is probably one of the worst combinations you could ever do. And honestly, it turns people away from using this feature. I can guarantee it. If there's a way to revert the color scheme but keep some of the other things, honestly, this update would go from like a 5 to like a 9 for me, like that ass. But this is like I really mean this. This is like a very hard thing to look at. I think they absolutely need to change the background color here. Honestly, it's kind of off-putting already that they have, like, you can tell that they keep the yellow on dark red here, right? They keep it here and they keep it where the shared bank stuff is, but they don't keep it here. It's weird. I feel like this was not required and it bothers me a lot. I just have to be honest. Another very, very annoying glitch is that when you're transferring from shared bank into your backpack, when you're, you know, with spell elements specifically, if your bank is full, not your backpack, your bank is full, it won't let you move to backpack. Again, this is a small thing, but they updated all the glitches last time, but they've kept this one. So I hope that this is fixed as well. And potentially what I think is the biggest missed mark of all is the fact that I think in order to get all of this utility on your page, I think they actually like somehow sell out on one thing, which is the fact that the bank is supposed to be used to transfer stuff. So if it's used to transfer stuff, right, why are the buttons so small, first off? And second off, why in the world, right, when you look at this, why is the backpack symbol on the bank symbol on the backpack, and why is the bank one the default, like the button that's above the other one? You guys see what I'm saying? Like, if I'm gonna use a shared bank for an item, I'm gonna use it to get something from my shared bank to my backpack. I'm very rarely gonna move something from shared bank to bank. So the fact that the bank is the first thing that you can do with this is crazy. And honestly, the buttons are small as hell compared to the display. Why is this so small? I think some shenanigans are happening here because, as you can tell, I think this is supposed to be moved to backpack, but it's functioning as a bank thing because the symbol is a backpack. So maybe there's a situation here where there's another glitch that they didn't fix, but this kind of brings me to the point. If there's this many glitches, then I feel like they should have waited to roll this one out. I'm not even mentioning the glitch that actually didn't allow you to transfer all of your spell elements one at a time. I don't know if y'all know about this, but let's say that I wanted to transfer, like, you know, like, let's say I wanted to transfer my ghoul spell elements to my death from my storm. At one point, there was a glitch where I had to do it, like, I had to, like, transfer for like 5 of them at a time instead of all 59 at once because it had like a weird limit on it. I think they did fix that, but the point still stands that there's quite a few visual glitches with the banking system right now. And also, it doesn't look good. And if y'all think I'm making this video just to complain about something that honestly kind of just a pet peeve, let's be honest, it's not serious. It's not like a big diss on KingsIsle. If you guys think it's not that serious, the reason I wanted to make a video about it is because I think that stuff like this, unfinished updates that make it into live realm this early, stuff like this really reinforces the idea that Wiz is putting out big updates with more glitches. And while I think that's a very, very unfair criticism in some respects, because I think people said that about raids, for example, they were a little glitchy when they first came out. But raids were an extreme achievement on KingsIsle's part in terms of like literally putting out something that we've never seen before. And honestly, yes, some of the glitches were kind of annoying, but they were relatively minimal. But I think for some reason with this bank update, they added in all the functionality, which I don't want to undersell. The functionality is great, but they left out all the aesthetics that you would want in something that's new and improved. And I feel like that's such a shame. Also, maybe I'm stupid for assuming that this was going to be a thing, but this is like also one of my bigger disappointments with this whole system in general. There is still no real way to trade TCs from one wizard on your account to another wizard on your account. And I think a bank overhaul would have been the perfect time to do this. Because right now, let's say that you have a tradable treasure card. The only way to get it from your wizard to another wizard on the same account is to get someone you trust, give it to them, and then hope that they don't scam you and give it back to you. A lot of people actually have alt accounts that they use specifically just to trade TCs between themselves. I think that's stupid and crazy, and I think the bank should resolve this. I would go as far as to say that now that they're adding Spellman treasure cards that are not tradable, but school specific, and if you're confused by what I just said, I'm talking about like all of these like, rank 1 to 3 spells that are treasure cards. If y'all don't know, these drop a lot in Novus, right? And they actually give a lot of utility. But while maybe a Storm might use an Imp, right, as a Spellman treasure card to activate a heal that a Storm would use, it's probably pretty rare that a Storm is going to be using Fire Elf to do anything, right? It's probably pretty rare that I'll ever use Sunbird. It would be really cool if these treasure cards that are Spellman based, these currently are not tradable. It would be cool if you could actually, transfer them with your bank. I don't know why that's not a thing, because right now you get a ton of treasure cards. Seems to be an update to their drop model, but so many of them are not usable if you get them on the wrong wizard because they're not tradable, and they just did a bank, rehaul, and they didn't consider this. It's a little weird. I do hope now that finding lost items and spellments are now much more resolved with the banking system. I hope treasure cards are seriously looked into when it comes to how they trade. And we're not talking about trading between people that aren't on the same account. I'm talking about the same person with the same treasure cards. Why can't I use treasure cards that I got on one wizard on another on the same account? Why is that not a thing with this current bank? This is a little bit of a rant video. I do want to end it on a positive note. It's really cool that they're updating features that are literally 10 years old. I just think when an update this good, like potentially good, is like on the table, I do think they need to worry about how it looks more often. I feel like right now, they're really trying to put out a lot of content, and honestly, that's amazing, and I like that as a player. But to me, this feature, as good as it can be, and as much as I want it to be better, it feels incomplete to me. And I want to make a video talking about this because I hope that they don't do this with other features that people get hyped about. Because right now, it feels like mid right now when it shouldn't be mid. And that's why I'm annoyed most of all. But I want to hear y'all's opinions. Did it kind of frighten you when you opened the bank? Because it kind of did to me. And what do you guys think KingsIsle could do in order to make the updates feel a little bit more seamless? I think that's the bigger question underlying this whole video. I look forward to reading all of y'all's comments as usual, man. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and if somebody hasn't told you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. So stay awesome, y'all. And yeah.